Shit! Anyone want to work as an editor for a somewhat successful YouTube channel? Contact me, never, because I don't like talking to people. So as per usual, Lucas, would you like to inform the lovely people at home watching this episode of Wikipedia Weekends what we are talking about today?
We are talking about Taskmaster.
Yeah, one Tony Masters of the Taskmaster from Marvel Comics. And specifically, we will be referring to his page on the Marvel Wikia, which we have utilised many times on Wikipedia Weekends, because just Marvel characters are just so dumb and usually have such elaborate backstories with a lot of just depth and detail in them nobody expects. That's just hilarious and
a lot of history to pull from.
Not to mention, I think he's the main bad guy of the new Black Widow movie coming out.
Promotion. Yay.
You've got to ride that trend, haven't you? We don't often follow trends, but I really like Taskmaster as a villain, and an excuse to talk about him is not something I'm going to pass up. So we're going to start with, as per usual, just the beginning of some basic biographical information about Taskmaster, so that we all know what this guy's about. So, real name, Tony Masters. Immediately fucking amazing. Is that one of the strongest real names for a character in comics?
Oh yeah. Maybe up there with Victor Von Doom.
Like Victor Von Doom, it's like, I don't think that's like S miracle tier, you can't really talk that, but like Tony Masters is fucking up there. It's just so cool. It's so awesome. So we've got current alias, Taskmaster, of course. And then we've got aliases, Tasky, Barney Toastmaster, and Captain America.
Barney Toastmaster?
I don't know. There's a link, so presumably it's in one comic somewhere. Presumably Deadpool calls him that. Because Deadpool and him fight a lot. So, relatives, an unnamed mother, Mercedes Merced, his wife, and Jean Foucault, alleged daughter. Ooh. Trouble in paradise for the Masters family. So, status, identity, secret identity. That must be really hard for a guy who's called Tony Masters. Because if I had a name that cool, I'd fucking tell everybody. Citizenship, American. Marital status, married. Occupation, sheriff, assassin, mercenary, spy, saboteur, formerly a military trainer, hand-to-hand combat instructor, head of initiative training at camp, and a bodyguard. Education, SHIELD, agent training. And presumably like all the other stuff he's done.
So even his education is just more training?
His education is just more SHIELD. So characteristics, gender, male, height 6'2", weight 220 pounds. Oh, that's a big boy.
That is.
That's a big skelly boy right there. Eyes brown, hair brown. Origin, so he's a human born with photographic reflexes, which is I love that.
That's so cool.
Because, whoever came up with that, I hope they got a fucking paycheck bump that week.
That's got to be up there in the list of just cool, awesome powers.
Also, it just sounds really awesome. Photographic reflexes. It sounds like something that should exist, but it's not. It's purely a comic thing. But yeah. And he later took an experimental Nazi version of the super soldier serum.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, which allows him to memorize motor skills instantly at the cost of true memory. So we'll probably get to that in the weaknesses section, but the thing about Taskmaster is every time he learns something new, it pushes all stuff out of his brain. Like that Homer Simpson's quote that I'm ripping off now, which is followed by one of my favourite, just subtle gags in The Simpsons, which is, remember when I learned how to make wine, I forgot how to drive? It's like, no, Homer, you were drunk. It's just, anyway, place of birth, the Bronx in New York, and I didn't know this. I had no idea who Taskmaster was until I played the game Ultimate Marvel 3, which Taskmaster is in, and he just had this really thick, New York accent.
Yeah.
Who is this weird skeleton man with the New York accent who's super cocky and up himself? He's awesome. And if he doesn't have that accent in the film, that Black Widow movie might as well just be fucking cancelled.
He's probably going to be Russian or something now.
And that's a shame, because in that game, all of his quotes are amazing, Spider Swing! Spider Swing! It's aim of Hawkeye, Sword of Black Knight. It's so fucking cool. We've got Taskmaster's history here, or we can skip straight to powers. And I would highly recommend, before you make a decision, Lucas, we cover just a little bit of his history, because it's very funny.
I was going to say powers, but yeah, I'll trust your judgment.
Okay, because we have early life here, and this section is amazing, because I've done some research on Taskmaster before, because I just like comics. So, Tony Masters, can't get over that name, was born with the ability to duplicate movements of others through brief observation. At age 8, he continued to discover his photographic reflexes to immediately copy other skills he was learning, such as learning to dive into a swimming pool. This almost killed him when he realised he forgot to watch someone swim. So he learned to copy an Olympic high dive, but didn't watch him swim, so he did the dive and then just nearly drowned.
What would you do if you saw that?
And then there's a bunch of other shit, but isn't that like reason enough to cover his very basic early shit?
Yeah, that is.
One of the most feared mercenaries in the Marvel Universe nearly died because he couldn't swim. Think about that for a moment. He couldn't swim. Look, he's just dying. We'll now move on to powers and abilities. We've got here the Marvel Power Grid, which for people who don't know is a ranking system which rates people on a scale of 1 to 7, with 1 being, I think, like base human and 7 being godlike.
Okay.
And Taskmaster is pretty like average. He's above average in almost everything except for fighting skills, at which he is a solid 7. Okay, making him...
So he's average guy that can just beat the shit off anyone.
Yes, he's marginally stronger than like, you know, a regular human. He's marginally faster. He's marginally more intelligent. But his fighting skills are unparalleled in the Marvel Universe because obviously photographic reflexes. So powers, artificially enhanced physiology. Tony was born with the ability to duplicate other abilities he saw someone else performed or watched on TV. That's the good one.
Oh.
So, after injecting himself an experimental Nazi version of the super soldier serum, his brain capacity began to absorb knowledge instantaneously. The serum also altered his brain chemistry to make him hypercognitive in the area of skill observation and retention. This particular serum was an elaborate modification of the adrenal steroid cortisol, which even enhanced Tony's short-term memory. So essentially, if he sees something, he can instantaneously learn how to do it himself and then use it on you. Which is why we don't know anything really about the Black Widow movie. If they don't have the best fight choreography in a Marvel movie so far, I'll be so pissed off. Because they have got to top the Winter Soldier fight scenes, like with the knife twirl, with the Bucky Barnes knife twirl that everyone knows about. If they don't have Taskmaster doing something 500 times better than that, that film is a fucking waste.
I just want like an alternate reality where we see a Taskmaster Winter Soldier fight.
Oh my god, it'd be so good. Like, Taskmaster is such an interesting villain because his power set is so cool because you can do anything with it.
Power set is everybody else's power set.
Which makes him a really cool character to have fight people, but they're only making him fight Black Widow.
I want to see him do like those crazy fucking like head flips that Natasha Romanoff does.
If Taskmaster doesn't copy that move, like her iconic move, I'm going to be pissed off. Anyway, so, photographic reflexes, the meat of the article as it were. So, Tony's primary superhuman power is his photographic reflexes. He can watch another person's physical movements and duplicate them without any practice or training, no matter how complex. Oh my god. And that's why the power is so stupid. It's not just that he can copy someone throwing a punch, it's that he can copy someone doing like an entire Olympic gymnastic routine flawlessly the first time without any practice or training.
Well, he can literally watch a Bruce Lee film and become fucking Bruce Lee.
Well, that actually is something that he does, and do you know about that?
I might have just had it in the back of my head, and that's why I brought it up.
Because there's something really cool he does. Not with Bruce Lee movies, with martial arts movies we'll discuss in a moment. I'm hoping it's listed here. So, Taskmaster can use his ability to master complex gymnastic routines and play difficult pieces of music without any effort whatsoever.
Wait, so we can just become like an accomplished musician?
Yeah. If he sees someone like, if he saw like Herman Lee shred out like a Dragon Force guitar solo, he could do it perfectly first time.
So I've only ever just thought of it as like fighting prowess.
No, he can use it for anything.
But obviously, yeah, he can do it for anything. So why wouldn't he just be able to play fucking any guitar song after seeing it play?
Or like, sing 3 points when on a basketball court, or be like, the world's best tennis player, or anything like that. He could do anything he wanted to.
He could be his own Olympic team.
He could, yeah. He could go to the Olympics and win on his own. Because he could do everything that all you need to do is make sure he always goes second. And at the very least, he'll draw with first place.
What would you do if he went first? Oh shit, no.
That'd be the worst. If he went second, he'd guarantee to get joint first in every event. However, he typically prefers to use the ability to copy the combat skills, both armed and unarmed, of costume crime fighters and expert martial artists from around the world. And it says here, by reviewing recordings of movements periodically, Tony can retain duplicated moves indefinitely. So what he does is he writes like his mixtapes. It's like, other people fighting to remind himself, okay, so how does Captain America kick people's head in? All right, here we go. When facing an opponent, because he has already studied countless martial arts, he can virtually predict his enemy's attacks. He can also copy the subtle muscle movements of others so precisely that he can at times do things such as copying another person's voice so precisely he can fool voice recognition software.
What?
Yeah. See, this is why I love comics, because that photographic reflexes and like the description of it, where we can copy stuff, sounds cool. And like a crap writer will go, okay, we copies everyone's fighting style. A good writer will go, why doesn't he use his copy someone's voice? And then write a really cool scene around that.
Oh, it's insane that he can do that.
But here's the thing that I thought you were referencing earlier. Limited superhuman speed. Tony is capable of running and moving at speeds that are twice as fast as the human body. He discovered this after watching martial arts movies in double speed and realised that he could copy the movements at that speed. So he just watched Bruce Lee movies like on fast forward and then copied them.
Oh, man. You'd be unstoppable.
Think about that. Like, what would happen if he watched it in like times 100 speed?
I just figured out that he can move 100 times faster than
Just
Bruce Lee.
becomes Cheetah Man. So, however, he can only maintain his heightened state for minutes before like risking temporarily physical damage to his body. So, while he can do this, he is limited by like his human body. But just the idea he watched it in fast forward and went, I could do that.
All I've got in my head now is he should watch anime.
Rock Lee. Just watch it. You're right. The thing is, though, could Taskmaster be the first person in the MCU to do an Izuna drop?
Oh my
If
god.
he played Ninja Gaiden 2, he could do a fucking Izuna drop on motherfuckers.
Oh my god, that'd be so
Or
cool.
if he played like Devil May Cry 3. And he could just like surf on someone's body while firing pistols, like spinning
Get him
around.
to play Bayonetta and punch God into the sun.
He probably could. So, physical movement prediction. Tony can also do things such as figuring out the sleight of hand technique of master poker cheaters simply by watching them. So he could also be like, a master poker player if he wanted to. He's often shown the ability to actually predict an opponent's next move before they make it if he's studied their fighting style enough. However, opponents who are skilled at improvisational fighting styles, who have more random, unpredictable styles, such as Deadpool, are less likely to have their moves predicted by Taskmaster.
Yeah, good luck trying to predict fucking
Yeah.
Deadpool.
And I think
Like, I'll give him that.
There's even a comic where I think it's Taskmaster is paid to go kill Deadpool. And he goes, no.
Yeah, I would.
He's like, I'm not fighting Deadpool. I'll kill anyone you want. I'm not killing Deadpool. Superhuman reflexes. So due to Tony's photographic reflexes, his reaction speed is 2 times greater than those of a normal human. He easily caught Crescent Blaze thrown at him from behind by Moon Knight without even looking, and was able to deflect a bullet with his chin. Oh, sorry.
his chin?
No, sorry, with a chain.
How'd you do it with a chin?
I was about to say, is he Raiden from Metal Gear Solid? Whew. So, abilities. Now, this is where Taskmaster goes from being like hilariously awesome to frightening. So, Taskmaster is known as one of the greatest and most formidable armed and unarmed combats in the entire Marvel Universe. He has truly mastered all forms of martial arts, modern and historical. Boxing, wrestling, swordsmanship, archery, marksmanship, juggling, gymnastics, aerial acrobatics and sleight of hand. And he has also, in addition, learned the personal fighting styles of Ant-Man, Black Crow, Black Knight, Black Widow, Blazing Skull, Boomerang, Bushwhacker, Black Panther, Captain America, Cat, Constrictor, Daredevil, Deadpool, The Destroyer, Elektra, Falcon, Hawkeye, Iron Fist, Iron Man, Moon Knight, Nomad, Oddball, The Punisher, Silver Samurai, Red Shirt, Solo, Spider-Man, Swordsman, Tigra, Tombstone, Tumbler, Agent X, US Agent, Warbird, Wolverine and Zaran, amongst many others.
How do you stop that, man?
So he can fight with the fighting style of basically everyone in the MCU combined.
Every fucking Avenger that ever has existed. Jesus.
So when Taskmaster copies something new, it pushes old memories out of his brain. For example, he's only able to remember a total of 8 languages.
But he knows
Still-
every
still-
single
yeah.
martial art in the world.
But then he forgets and he has to relearn them.
Oh,
So that's what I
okay.
mean. He knows that he has a limited amount of time. So he put all of his processing power into fucking, like, he min-maxed in fighting. So it is. It's Dark Souls, where you put all of your, like, just stats into dexterity, and then take all your armor off, so you just have the speed roll. So, and then we've got trivia. So we'll end on trivia, as we often do on these. So
Yep.
Daredevil once saved Taskmaster's life when the Punisher threw a knife at his heart. Daredevil deflected it with a shot from a pistol and then applied pressure to the wound until help arrived. This is one of the few times the hero has ever picked up and used a firearm.
Oh.
I do like it though, he used a gun to stop a knife, to save a life. Comics, guys, comics. So Taskmaster wore a skull death mask as inspiration by Santa Muerta, Saint Death, the Lady of Shadows, in honour of her solidarity. Like, isn't that a cool character and an interesting power set to explore?
It really is, and I think things that I didn't think of and creative ways to use his power, like the voice mimicry,
Yes.
you can do so much crazy things with that. And I think that's what the good basis for a power is.
Yeah, and that's why I like superheroes or villains with powers that are weird, but then
Yeah.
they're utilised in interesting ways. Like, all Taskmaster's done is put every stat point he's got into fighting style. That's it. Like, he's got nothing, he's got average everything else, but no, fuck it, fighting skill is through the fucking roof.
But it's similar to something we talk about a lot, and it's the Spidey sense. of like, it's very ambiguous, so you can do a lot of cool things with it.
And a talented writer can do interesting things, like the thing about Spider-Man, like keeps swinging home drunk. Because he like spider-sense guys where he's going home, and the first day he didn't have, he got hit by a car. Which is really fun. But just Taskmaster's be like, yeah. Also, like that accent's so cool. Just like aim of Hawkeye, man. Just aim of Hawkeye, aim of Hawkeye. Sort of black. It's so fucking cool.